In our never-ending quest for home improvement and upgrading of our, obviously, 80s fabulous bathroom, we decided that this weird contraption up here needs to go. How do we do it and what are we going to do? I'll show you right now. If you were blessed with the means to buy a new or renovated home, you don't have to deal with odd things like this. This track supports a shower curtain, right? As you can see. But as you can also see, it really doesn't work, as these things should slide smoothly. And they definitely don't. So what are we going to do? We're going to replace it with this. I'm going to show you what this is and how to do it now. So this wonderful device here is a flexible ceiling shower track. We're going to open it up. Just cut this along the track here. So once you get this stuff off, you're left with this circular kind of ring, right? And this bag of parts. First thing I noticed, this thing's really hard to unwind. So they recommend in the instructions to somehow just wind it up in reverse, which I'm going to attempt to do.
This was definitely a little tricky to do, but just take your time and keep working at it, and you should get it into a circle like I do here.
Over here. And let's see. Okay, now it's definitely a lot straighter. Now, if you can see, this thing is the same on the top and bottom pretty much, except for there's a little bit of smoothness on the bottom, and it's flat on top here. The flat side is going to go on the ceiling, right? Because it's flat to the ceiling. We're going to install these all these rollers on the smooth side down, right, like this.
This is relatively easy, but somewhat repetitive, as you can see. For a pro tip, actually count the number of rollers you need ahead of time, unlike I did.
It was a little more painstaking than I thought it would be, but they're all on. I think there's a lot more than I need. And they also tell you to install the hooks, but I think we can just do that afterwards when it's a little easier. All right, guys, so I made a quick stop here to Lowe's, and I didn't really like the anchors that came with that setup, so I'm going to show you the ones I use, and I'm going to grab them. All right, so I ran out, and I got something that I prefer, and it's these self-drilling drywall anchors. I like these because you don't need to drill into the drywall first. They kind of do it for you because they have the sharp tip there. They come with screws, and each one is capable of holding 65 pounds, so this should be more than adequate to do this job and make it easy.
So you'll see I have an orange string in my hand, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out where I want to put the brackets in the ceiling, and I'm hanging the string straight down to see where the shower curtain will fall so I can gauge where I want to put the brackets and where the shower curtain will wind up. So once I determined the position of the first and last bracket via that string trick that I showed you, which showed where the curtain would fall, I was able to kind of put the track up there and secure it to each the first and last. And then after I did that, I could basically determine how much length of track I needed and how much I could remove. I kind of grabbed this one spot with my hand. You'll see the arrow pointing there. And when I unclipped it, I made sure I kept track of that spot. And then I knew where to cut the track so I could put it back up. After I got the track cut and back up somewhat in place from the first and last bracket, I was able to kind of slide the other brackets up behind it and pop them into place. They're really easy to just pop right on. And then I just kind of gauge where the holes were, and I put my anchors where the holes would be because I could kind of move the track around a little bit because it's pretty flexible. So what I'm going to do now is just be quiet and you guys can observe some of the stuff that I did, and maybe you'll see that this isn't so hard.
So finally, we're done. And I have a lot of extra hooks that I'm going to have to remove the end cap and take off. I really didn't count. They'll come off pretty easily, but they're there and they're not hurting anything. And as you guys can see, this thing is super smooth. That is velvety smooth compared to what we had before. So the links are in the description for all products I mentioned today, and I hope this video helps you guys.